Hey guys, it's Stephanie with Simarchy, and welcome to part 6 of Let's Build featuring the Lamb family. Now, in this part, I am going to go ahead and finally work on the upstairs. I'm going to work on Ken's bedroom and the hallway slash art room slash music room. You'll see. But before I do that, I'm doing some final touches on the first floor. I went back and looked at all of the family members and their personalities. And although I remembered that Aurora was a Supernatural fan, I completely forgot that she's also a computer whiz. So what good is a computer whiz without a computer, right? All right, so I got rid of that little reading area. I mean, she still has her bookshelves and plenty of places in the home to sit and relax and read. So I figured she definitely needs a desk with a computer so she can go ahead and do her computer stuff as well. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know, maybe she's a hacker in her spare time. I don't know, but either way, she definitely needs one. So I put in that desk that matches the antique feel of the room with a little matching chair, and now I am finding her the perfect desktop computer. I will also make sure to put one in her inventory as well, so she is never without one. And since I did stick with a lot of greens and blues in this home, well, in this room in particular, I wanted the computer to be that sort of dark green color as well. And I'm going to change the mouse pad a bit too, because I don't know, I think that turquoise has a duck or a star on it. Yeah, so we'll go with just a little bit of a green camo type pattern instead. And I need to add some more stuff around there now because that left wall is still looking a bit empty. But before I do that, I want to add a few decorations and things to the computer area. So I am putting the little coffee break clutter right there, which I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be. It looks like it's sort of a case file on someone. So since she is a Supernatural fan, maybe she's researching some werewolves and vampires, and those are some pictures she's taken. Maybe she has a little bit of a stalker streak in her as well. Who knows? But either way, I wanted to give her a little bit of a file on top of the desk as well. And since she's so into computers, she needs some discs, right? Some software, maybe some music. I'm not sure what is on those discs. Maybe it is confidential, secret information, top secret. But either way, she definitely needs those. And for whatever reason, they don't fit on the desk. I know that there's room to still put something on there, but maybe that particular decor item is just too big. So instead, I add a matching side table for her discs as well. And now I'm just copying the color scheme from the desk onto the side table to make it look like it was actually part of a set, which it sort of does. I'm not sure if it is technically, but those are the same legs as far as I can tell. I think those are called like Queen Anne legs. I know at home my vanity and my little what am I thinking? Jewelry box. My jewelry box has those Queen Anne type legs. So yeah, there is still room on that desktop like I thought, so I just put a little pad and papers instead. A pad of papers and pens. All right, now the space is still a bit empty, so I'm trying to find some more things to put over here. And I'm going through the miscellaneous decor. Well, actually, the tab I'm in right now is all decor, so that I could find some items that don't necessarily have a specific category that I would think to look for them in. So I find that cool little podium, and I'm gonna put I just missed the name. What was it? That little lion statue? It's some sort of mythological creature, but yeah, he's gonna go on the little podium there, and have to throw in some more CDs and discs and software and files and whatever else is on those top secret information things. Yeah, she's got plenty of discs to store her files and such. Okay, so now that that's done, I am finally moving on to the upstairs, to the children's bedrooms. And we're going to start off with Ken's room. Again, he is the youngest. He is the spoiled little baby. Not a baby, he's a kid, but you know, you're always mom's baby, always. So his room, let's see, he is adventurous and he's a daredevil, and he's also easily impressed. But he's still just a kid, so I don't want to do anything too crazy. You know, he's going to have toys and things like that, of course. Don't want to take anything away from his childhood. So he's going to get a single bed because he obviously doesn't need any more than that. But I am going to change the colors and the patterns a bit because that cow pattern. Is that a cow pattern? I don't know. It's not ideal. It's not what I'm going for in this home. But I know that I want to use some more greens for his room. Definitely, I think that would be his favorite color. Although I think he had a different favorite color. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, we'll pretend like he has 2 favorite colors. Well, like me, I have a million favorite colors. I can't choose one. So my favorite color is rainbow, as I mentioned before. But yeah, his room is going to be a room suited for an adventurous, easily impressed, daredevil young boy. Okay, so now I'm trying to find a bed pattern, and I like this geometric shape. It's got like the greens and the oranges, and as I've mentioned a million times, I think green and orange is a really cool color combo that I don't see very often, to be honest. But yeah, it's sometimes it could look a bit 70s or retro depending on what you do with it, but I think it's good for this room. So now he is going to need an end table. So I'm going to go with this little bedside bliss just because it has a few little books and it looks like there's a toy hiding in there as well. And I think, am I going to do another? Yeah, he has 2 bedside tables, but they don't match. Like they're not the same structure, although I am going to make them match in color. But yeah, he needs plenty of spaces to put his toys and, his reading lamp and alarm clock and whatever else ends up going on these. I think I make them orange and green just to match that bedspread a bit, which is going to be, of course, the overall theme of this room, color scheme, orange and green. So copying those colors onto here as well. My Create a Style tool does still lag a bit, especially in this part of the video. I'm not sure if it's because I was doing some editing beforehand, which already sort of slowed down the PC and made it a bit harder to do this. So sorry that this looks like it's taking forever, but I promise it gets better later on in the video. So yeah, just making these colors match over here. I accidentally moved the color pattern onto the bed because it is so slow and laggy. So again, please pardon this part. I probably should have edited out this part of the video, but as I mentioned before, I want this to be a complete look from start to finish, how I build family and build a home. I didn't want to speed anything up or cut anything out so you could see my mistakes and everything, which can be good or bad depending, but it's always good to see what other struggles people have, especially when it comes to The Sims 3 because it is such a laggy, glitchy game, but I absolutely love it, so I will deal with these little problems, of course, in the meantime. But now I am going to move on to the wallpaper and the flooring in Ken's bedroom. And I like this green and yellow. I wanted to introduce at least a third color because, green and orange are great, but if you do too much of it, like I said, it could start to look a bit retro, and that's not what I'm going for. So I figured throwing that yellow in there is definitely a fun pop of color as well, and it just matches very well. I didn't have to play at all with the colors or patterns on the wall because, the one I chose just turned out to be perfect, which doesn't always happen. Sometimes it is a struggle. But originally I had the side tables, one orange and one green, but the problem is against a green wallpaper, I don't know, the table sort of disappeared. It was way too dark. So I am making them both orange, and so they match a bit better. And let's see, now I'm looking for some things to put on top of the side tables. I accidentally went to the entertainment tab when I meant to go into the electronics tab. And under the miscellaneous electronics is where you're going to find your alarm clocks and video game consoles and things like that. So he has his alarm clock to wake him up for school and a little reading lamp in case he wants to do some reading in bed. And now I'm specifically looking for like a robot toy. I don't know if I find it immediately now or later on, but it's like a little box toy that I think has a robot in it. So I put DJ Sam, I think that's its name, there as well. Just looking for, stuff that a kid would have in their room. He's not a baby, of course, so I didn't want to do any stuffed animals or things like that. Definitely sticking with like the action figures and, this cool elevated train set. It's sort of like a train that sits on a shelf, and I love using this in kids' rooms because it's just so cool. So yeah, I threw that over there in between the two windows on the right wall. And I think I'm on my hunt for the robot again. I know I eventually find it. I think he's actually under decor instead of toys, if I recall. But in the meantime, I'm going to just throw in some other fun things I see, like that cool pirate treasure box. It is a toy chest, but you know, it's cool. We can pretend that there's treasure in there as well. And since Ken is adventurous, I'm sure he likes to pretend like he's a pirate every once in a while and see what type of loot he can find throughout the house or or you know, out scavenging. Okay, but here's the Robo action toy that I was thinking of. And luckily it fits right there on the end table, even though it looks like it should be too big for that space. It fit perfectly, and I eventually found it, so yay. Now I'm moving on to this corner of the room where I'm going to go ahead and give him a TV. As I mentioned with the previous rooms, the living room is quite small, so I want to make sure that everyone has their own entertainment space in their bedrooms as well. I was able to create them some nice large bedrooms, so I wanted to put as much as possible in there so that they have a place to hang out with their friends or just chill and relax after homework's done, after school. And these chairs are really fun. I don't like the metal behind them because it makes them look a little bit like too futuristic. So I'm just going to go through and put that cloth pattern on the back of them as well. And since one's sort of like an orangey red and one's blue, I wanted to do the opposite colors on each one. So one has like an orangey red cushion with a blue background, and then the other one has like a blue background or a blue cushion with the orangey background. You know what I mean? But yeah, there, I think those are really fun. It's better than, you know, using the beanbag chair all the time, which is pretty much what I always do in kids' rooms. I figured I would vary it up a bit, and these look really, really comfy and really fun as well. So now moving on to the flooring. This puzzle pattern is really cute. I usually use it in babies' rooms, but I figured it would look good in here as well, since I wanted to pull in more of the green and yellow to kind of counter the green and orange a bit. I figured I'll make the flooring match the wall as much as possible. So what I did was I clicked on the wallpaper and I clicked on the two colors there that make up the bottom portion of the wallpaper, which is I guess a dark green and a light green, and I'm copying those onto the carpet so it matches exactly. And, you know, replacing all the carpet in the room to match that one tile I was working on. And this flows much better. You know, normally I don't want the walls and carpets to match exactly, but since it does have the yellow border on top, I thought it was a good enough match, so that it looks, you know, it looks like it was meant to be that way, but it's not completely clashing with itself. And now moving on to this wall over here, I didn't necessarily want to give him a computer because I don't know if you need a computer in your room when you're a child. I don't know exactly how old he is, but let's say maybe he's around like 8-ish. I don't know. I'm sure 8-year-olds nowadays have computers, but yeah, I want Ken to still live in his little fantasy adventure world and not have to worry about electronics too much. He's more of a child that likes to go outside and get into trouble and, you know, ride his bike and do things like that. So I figured I would give him a bookcase instead of a computer. You know, he could still do his homework and his research, and he could of course use his sister's computers or mom and dad's downstairs. And when he gets older, you can replace this chest of drawers here and put a computer desk there instead. So now I'm just, you know, rearranging this a tiny bit. It is a bit of a tight squeeze with that bookcase back there. I will make sure to player test it and make sure that Ken can still walk up to the bookcase to open it and read or put books away. I think it should be fine, but yeah, since it is such a tight squeeze, I did try to just move the objects over a tiny bit around it to give it some more room. And now I'm changing the color to make it match better. I did want to inject another color in here, so I went with the sort of like dark royal blue and turquoise, which matches the living room, but you know, it matches his bedroom too as well. I am playing with some different colors to see which one looks best, but I ultimately decided that light blue, teal, turquoise, whatever you want to call it, looks good against the dark blue and pops against the dark green wall. Now I am going to find some little miscellaneous decor items to put on top of his dresser. I don't know. I figured he would have, you know, some folded clothing there, and I don't know what else. Maybe some books, but What I end up choosing is this cute little mouse in a pumpkin, completely random. It is store content, so it'll probably disappear in your home unless you have it. I think it came with like one of those free packs, like a Halloween set or a harvest set or something like that. But I don't know, it's a cute little mouse. Figured he would sit right there on the dresser nicely. And I am contemplating putting a desk in here, even though he wasn't going to get a computer. Maybe he could just have an area to sit and do his homework or write or read. But I wish I had a single tile desk to put there. There really wasn't one, so instead I'm going to put some more toys. So this is the costume chest, which I at first thought was just another toy box, but then I realized that your children can actually interact with it and they can turn into like a princess or a dinosaur. It's actually a costume chest. It's amazing. So I wanted to make sure that Ken has one of those so he can go on his adventures and play his fantasies with the costume to match as well. And now I'm working on the hallway upstairs, which, as I mentioned previously, it is a lot bigger than I intended it to be. So I figured I would turn it into just a little common area for the kids to hang out in as well, sort of like their second living room. I don't know, something to that effect, but it's definitely big enough that I can put a desk and some chairs and some other fun things. So let's go ahead and start off with a plant in the corner for some little greenery, and that is an awkward corner there, so I figured a plant would be sort of the best option, just to put some decor there, not leave it completely empty. And now I'm looking for some wall art as well. Not sure exactly which one is going to fit in well. I do have Freezer Bunny there, but I end up moving him because the lighting just washes it out too much. So now I'm going through and changing the intensity a bit. But what this does is it completely darkens the room. I mean, I think the wallpaper and stuff, even though it looks nice and neutral downstairs, looks a bit too dark up here. So I will eventually change that. But until then, I'm looking for some hobbies or, musical instruments or whatever I can just kind of stick in this corner here. So we'll start off with an art easel. No, I don't think any of the kids have a creative trait. I think we have like a virtuoso, an animal lover, and things like that. But kids love to paint and get that artistic side out. So I figured I would put the easel there so that, they can draw and color and do whatever they want. Also, I just noticed that Orb of Answers toy. I think it's probably like a magic 8-ball. I've never used it in the game before. I didn't actually use it in this build, but I do want to see exactly what that does. I'm not sure if it's just for decoration or if it actually works like a magic 8-ball. So I will probably try that out later and see exactly what it does. And since we have an art set, I wanted to put, a little bit of artsy things as well. You've got the paper down there with, I don't know if that's paint or spray paint, and then the bottles on the wall. I'm not sure exactly what those are meant to be, but they work great for a lot of different things. They can look like shampoos and stuff in a bathroom. They could look like, laundry detergent and stain removers and things in the laundry room. Or my personal favorite use is to have them look like paint bottles. Maybe there's paint in there, or I don't know, maybe glue, whatever. It looks really cool and it matches the art space, so we'll pretend that those are paint and art supplies as well. And I plopped in a desk there so that they could draw and color on, and added the cool purple color, which I was inspired to pull from that bottle. I wanted to do, like I mentioned earlier, a lot more fun pops of color, especially upstairs with the kids' rooms. I didn't want it to be so neutral and boring, so I'm definitely going to play with like the purples, the blues, the reds, the greens, all sorts of fun colors. And I put that fun little pencil holder. I don't know, what is he, a little like alien skeleton guy? I don't know, he's really cute, and he holds the pencils and pens. And just looking for some more little things to throw up here. I end up going with that just sculpture thing. I don't think it actually does anything, but I don't know, just a fun toy to throw up there. And now using this chair, I never really paid much attention to this chair before. I can't remember exactly what expansion pack it's from, but it reminds me of like those ghost chairs. Even though, it doesn't have a clear back or clear legs, but it's still fun to change the colors and make it, I don't know, it looks very artsy and fun. Definitely a type of chair that you would have in a kid's room or an art studio or something like that. So I went with the orange. And now I'm looking for other things to put in here, like I said, I didn't know exactly what the space would be. I just knew it was a little too big to be a regular hallway. So I'm seeing what else I could throw in here by looking through the miscellaneous decor tab. There was one item in particular that I was looking for that I stumbled across through one of the menus and couldn't remember where it went. And I think it was like a shelf that went up on the wall that had like a backpack hanging from it. I'm not sure what expansion pack that's from or where it came from, and ultimately I can't find it. Like, I'm going through every single item trying to look for it. I think eventually I even go through like the table options and the shelving options to see if I can find it. So I don't know. I'm looking back now as I'm watching this video and seeing like, where the heck did it go? Did I lose it? Did I make it up? Like, where could it possibly be? But I did end up putting an aquarium over there just to fill up that wall while I continue looking for the shelf or other items to put in here as well. And that's not the one, because that one had a towel on it. I don't know if anybody knows where that little shelf with the backpack is. Please comment below and tell me, because it's going to drive me crazy unless I find it. But yeah, it's very interesting to scroll through this menu here, because there's so many weird random items that they have as decor that, I don't know, I don't think necessarily is. But yeah, it's fun to see exactly what's in here. It is such a large menu. It's a lot to go through. So again, sorry for having you watch all of that. It's a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit annoying to see me just scroll through menus looking for something that I can't find, but it's in the video, so you have to watch it or skip it. And now I'm trying to find something else for the corner over here. I really like the idea of putting the train set, especially since Ken had that little tiny train sitting on the wall shelf in his bedroom, but I thought it was just too big for the space. Definitely can't fit a chess table or anything like that. Although looking back, I probably should have put one in the home somewhere, because it's great for the children to gain their logic skill through the chess table. But maybe that's something you could put on the front porch, since there is all that extra seating there. Maybe you can remove one of the benches and put a chess table there if that's what you prefer. But I did decide to go with some musical instruments, because one of the teenage girls is a virtuoso, which means that she's really good at picking up music and art and things like that. So I figured I would give her a guitar and, what is that, a bass? I'm not sure, but changing the colors on those, again, just to make them look like they're part of a kid's room and not have such, boring plain colors. So I went with blue, and I think I keep that one just sort of that like yellowy color. And let's see, what else can I put in here? I mean, I'm still looking for that shelf with the backpack on it, and it's just nowhere to be found. But I know I saw it. Like, I know I saw it while I was recording this video. Either my eyes are really bad, or it's just in some menu that I would never ever think to look for it. But right now I am looking for those giant bulletin boards that go on the wall. That little one is not the one I was thinking of. I think the others are actually under wall art, so I do eventually find those. But until then, I'm just experimenting with different things down here. I like the protester signs because it looks sort of artsy. I wish that they were maybe just paint canvases instead of picket signs. It would probably fit in a little better with this family and what they do. So I ultimately decided to remove those, even though they are technically in the shed. I have those thrown in there. I don't know, maybe Aurora used to have a little rebel streak to her, and she would go out and protest things, and that's where they came from. Or you could just completely pretend there's something else, like, I don't know, yard sale signs, right? Sure. But yeah, I finally find these bulletin boards that I was looking for. I figured they're great for a kid's room because, you can use them for pretty much anything. You could tack on pictures of your favorite rock stars or your favorite models, or you can use it for pictures of friends or for research. Over here it looks like we have some galaxy stuff. I don't know, they're just really cute. I wish that they were actually interactive, but they're definitely a fun decorative piece as well. And I did want to change the frame on them so that they pop more. So we end up going with red and yellow. And I think those are really fun there. I thought those were the perfect touch because there isn't a whole lot of floor space over there, but it still looks like it's a usable item. And let's see, I really like the aquarium there. I have to remember to go ahead and stock that with fish. I originally said I probably wasn't going to play with this family, but I'm actually really inspired after building the home. I think that they're very interesting characters, and I don't know. I don't know if I actually do a recorded Let's Play unless somebody requests it, but definitely for myself, I'm going to go through and at least player test the home and build their stories a little bit before moving on to the next project. And I added another plant there in the corner and looking for some more lighting for the hallway as well. I think I eventually, maybe in the next video, change that to a different lighting fixture because looking back on it, it's a little bit too bright. Like even dimming it up a bit, it's still way too bright for that space. But yeah, now I still have this extra empty corner over here. And I figure since Mom's a Supernatural fan, we'll go ahead and throw some little Supernatural bears down here. Maybe it was her collection that she passed on to the children, but you know, we have the fairy and the vampire and the werewolf and I don't know, a witch, whatever, whatever those are. They're cute little bears that I decided to throw on the floor there. Maybe Ken will follow in Mom's footsteps and Dad's footsteps too and want to be a ghost hunter or something to that effect when he gets older. But now I'm looking for the perfect wallpaper. Again, I want this room to be really fun and bright, and I don't know. I liked the neutral colors for downstairs, but when I moved that wallpaper up here, it looked way too dim and drab. So I decided to go with some rainbow butterflies instead. But that is the end of this video. The next video, I will go ahead and work on Carrie and Candace's rooms. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.